Hey, my name's Bonnie, streaming from Awabakal and Warramai Land, and this is The Good Stuff on Newcastle Live.
This is
Good
stuff.
The good stuff.
Today, we'll be having a chat with Amy from Femme Newcastle. We'll tell you about the first lineup announcement for Dashville Skyline 2023. And Dan will tell you how to get a free Oporto burger this Friday. But first, let's find out what's happening around town tonight.
This is where it
Sounds good.
good stuff.
Aaron Leonard is on stage at Wings and Tins in Derby Street. 10cc bring their greatest hits tour to the Civic Theatre. JC Styles' Harlem Flavour Trio play the Grand Hotel in Newcastle. And it's open mic night at the Newcastle Comedy Club. To find out more, head to newcastlelive.com.au.
Good stuff.
The first round of artists have been announced for local festival Dashville Skyline. The lineup's led by Tim Rogers and his band The Twin Set. Vicar and Linda will also return with their band The Bullettes. Skyline 2023 will feature some incredible locals like Kingsley James and CJ Stranger. They will also welcome back Skyline favourite Waddy Thompson and his Full Fire Band. This Cosmic Country Weekender will take place over the October long weekend in Lower Belford. To find out more, head to newcastlelive.com.au or check us out on Facebook to see what everyone's talking about.
Good stuff.
Amy is the creator of Femme Newcastle, which is a community for ambitious women with a focus on support, empowerment, and local love. Femme Newcastle is a social hub that shines the spotlight on local femme business owners and creatives, as well as so much more. So, to chat more about Femme Newcastle, I'm stoked to welcome to The Good Stuff, Amy. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So, I'd like to go back to the very beginning. What was it that inspired you to create Femme Newcastle, and how long has it been going for now?
Yeah, so initially Femme started in the first hit of COVID.
Yeah.
Myself, I've lived in Newcastle since I was 18, and I've always just really been a lover of supporting local businesses like as much as I could.
Yeah.
And just noticing that first wave hitting businesses that I loved really hard, and also like my sister-in-law, she's a tattoo artist, and, you know, it hit her quite hard as well. So, yeah, I think that's sort of what initially started, like pushed me to start Femme, was bringing exposure to local businesses and in particular owners that related to that Femme mentality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to hear that it started in COVID because I see it as such a social thing. So how did you go about, creating this community but doing so online rather than in person?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think everything has its challenges, but at the time of starting Femme, I was also working myself through a bit of like a social media course as well. So I was putting into practice, I guess, what I was learning in that way. But I think also at the time I started, there wasn't any pages like mine. There are other pages now, but when I initially started, there wasn't that. So I think people really sort of jumped on that a bit more. I think there wasn't a lot of encouraging that was needed, but I guess like any business, from when they start to, a couple of years down the track, they look so different. So it wasn't, I started with doing Femme profiles, and then I had someone or a few people say to me, oh, you're going to start doing networking events. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
We started with networking events, and now I am sort of guiding it another way into more of that self-love, self-care, self-acceptance space.
Yeah.
And so that will be like a future ambition that I have of mine in creating a hub, a Femme hub. For that. So that's, another vision that I hope to get out at the end of the year. But it's all definitely transforming, but yeah. That's sort of how it is now.
Yeah. So these Femme profiles, they highlight femmes in their area of expertise.
Yeah.
How do you find these incredible locals.
Yeah.
And what do you love about giving them that recognition?
Yeah, so initially, like I usually find these people by just interacting on Femme's account. I'll find that, you know, they might like my posts for a little bit or stories and whatnot. And then I might reach out and say, you know, thank you for the support that you've shown.
Yeah.
Like it's not going unnoticed because I think a big thing on Instagram is that we're there to be social. We want to be social. We want to engage with what inspires us. But it's very little time that we get that recognition back to go, hey, thanks for supporting me. Or I just end up talking to a lot of people all the time. I'm such a talker. And then I'm like, hey, would you like a profile? Would you like this? Would you like that? So I think that's just sort of how they sort of come about organically. Or sometimes people reach out and go, hey, how do I get featured? And I'm like, just by doing what you've just done.
Yeah.
And for me, it just brings me back to my core. I think we're here to be of service and to help people. And to me, I think this is just one of the ways I feel connected to that. And that's sort of where I sit with the Femme business profiles right now.
It's so beautiful. And going back to that more self-love focus, when I look at the page, it's so nourishing because there's all these quotes and beautiful like affirmations. How do you go about finding this content or creating this content and still making it, you know, genuine?
Well, I don't know. It's just an idea usually comes from an idea that I've just had.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot. I'm a bit of a fanatic. And yeah, so I guess I just get inspired by something and then, you know, I go down a bit of a rabbit hole, as you'd say, of thought process, and then I end up with something. But I guess it's more about like having a vision, especially for the next step of Femme, and just having a vision for it and then going, okay, how can I achieve that and how can I bring people along on that journey with me? Which is, you know, so we're not just going from 0 to 100. You know, with the process of Femme, like I really want it to be like a business part, an events part, and this self-acceptance part as well. Like I want all three, but it's just now finding a way for them to all intertwine.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense and people go, oh, I've watched this journey or I've been on this journey.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I'd love to know, what are some of your favourite podcasts at the moment?
Oh, right now I'm obsessed with, I feel like you jump on one and then you jump off for a little bit and now you're back on.
Come back. Yeah.
I love Jay Shetty's podcast On Purpose. I love Erin May Henry, Chillpreneur. Mainly those two I've been listening to heavily. Other than that, like books, so I listen to the audibles. And so I've got like a few of my favorites, like Atomic Habits. I've probably listened to that 3 times. And, you know, Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk, he's a big inspo for me, just with his whole aura. So I just, that's sort of me.
Yeah. So let's talk about the in-person facet of Femme. Yeah. You've created a lot of social meetups and also, you know, highlighting different places in Newcastle to go and hang out or even, you know, free Wi-Fi spots so that people can work. They're really great ideas. What are some of your favourite moments so far that have happened through these social meetups and events?
Yeah. I love, probably the Femme events are my favourite because it gives me the opportunity to meet and connect with women that I never have before and I never would have got the opportunity to meet if we didn't have this Femme event. And for me, it's just the fact of like every single Femme event, I try to meet every single person there and say hello, whether they know who I am or not, because a lot of people might come for the speakers or for another reason, or they've been dragged along by a friend, but they don't follow the page, and that's so fine. But I make an effort to go around and be like, hey, it's like I turn into this whole new person. I'm just like this big butterfly, and I'm like, hello, come on. So that's just sort of I guess, me when I'm there, but I just really feel like I'm in my element.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of, it's like, what are you here to do? It's like, I don't know, to its simplest form, I feel like I'm here to connect with people. And I think Femme has sort of given me that. It's, you know, it's giving me that, and that's fueling my soul in a way.
Why do you think community is really important in creating these little hubs?
Yeah. So I think in every aspect, community is so important. Like, I think if you're looking at it from a business mindset, creating a community means that, you know, that's a group of people that are invested in you and they want to support you. And they want to support you whether they can afford your service or product, but you know, that might be showing up online for you.
Yeah.
But they're invested in you and they're invested in your business. And at one stage or another, they're most likely going to be a customer or referring people to you through word of mouth. And then I think if you look at community in the form of, you know, your sort of inner circle as well, which sort of comes back into that self-love, self-acceptance category, like that can be so important for who we surround ourselves with, and just creating that community where you feel like, you know, you can have your friends, you can have your family, you can have your partner, you can have your therapist, you can have whoever.
Yeah.
But then you also have an online community that where you go, I'm having the worst day and I can't get in contact with someone, or I just don't want to burden someone.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like just putting something up. It might even be like a quote that's not direct to how you're feeling or something like that. And you're relating to people in a wider scope that can still be in your inner circle that want to invest in you and support you and nourish you at that time as well.
Yeah. I do have one final question for you.
Of course. Yeah.
So on the 24th of June, you have a workshop coming up all about emotional intelligence. Can you tell us a little bit about this workshop?
Yeah, I'm so pumped for this workshop actually. So it's with Nerida Bint. I don't know if you guys know a bit about Nerida, but she opened the first women's only gym, I think, way back when in Newcastle.
Yeah, wow.
But Nez and I have actually been talking over the last few weeks and built quite like a friendship between us as well. She is just so like a wealth of knowledge, honestly. Like she's just broadened my mindset dramatically. You know, I think a few months ago, like I've been going through a bit of like a shift in my life, like a downward spiral. So I've been a bit off Femme, I've been a bit off my other business, Shinoya, and I've just been a bit of a whirlwind. And it's just bringing it back to core, like, and it's like so funny. It's like I brought it back to like Femme's cause, you know, community, supporting, you know, bringing it back to center of self. And that's like been a big thing for me. But I'm so excited for this emotional intelligence workshop because I think it's going to also align for business women, but for women that are also on that journey of getting to know themselves and being their own best friends. Like I think it's all with that, but also I think even just having a business where you are talking to people every day, it can get, you know, it can weigh down on you when you just feel a bit over it or a bit tired. But it's bringing it back to those perspective of tapping into that emotional intelligence and tapping into that that care for another person and really leading with kindness in that way. And I think this workshop's just such a great balance for the way that Femme's moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just sneak in
Yeah,
about rosé all day. So I am planning a big, this will come out in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a big event. So it's sort of like a local concert, essentially.
Wow, yeah.
So we've got Modus on board, Modus at Merriweather. I've hired the whole space. My girlfriend Kira is helping me and my girlfriend Maddie's helping me, and we're just bringing it all together. So we've got 4 amazing artists that are going to be playing. Actually, 5 amazing artists that are going to be playing. We're also supporting the non-for-profit charity What You're Wearing.
Yes.
So a certain dollar amount of every ticket is going to go back to them.
Brilliant.
Essentially.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the biggest event I've ever held.
Yeah, it sounds massive.
It's an all-inclusive event. The theme is pink and rosé. So I think we're going to partner with Margan Wines as well, keeping it local again. But it's just been amazing. Like, I don't know if anyone knows this, but the owner of Modus is actually a woman.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah.
You would
wow.
think, right? So Jazz, she's the owner of Modus Brewery. She lives up in Newey, went to Sydney. She's back in Newey.
Yeah.
So it's actually like how it's all coming together has just been incredible, really. I was so excited.
And that one's coming up in October.
Yeah, that'll be the end of October. So follow Fem's account.
Yes.
All details will, of course, be posted to there. And shortly after that, hopefully by the end of the year, we have a Femme Hub up and running as well.
Oh my
which is
gosh.
something I'm building right now. So there's so much going on behind the scenes. It feels quiet, but there's just big things going on. Like 2024 is going to be that boom year. I'm manifesting it.
Yeah. That's incredible. Well, Amy, thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us. And best of luck with Femme Newcastle.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
Newcastle Live. Newcastle Live.
Popular fast food chain of Porto will give away 500 free burgers this Friday. It's all in celebration of the opening of a new outlet in Lake Macquarie at Bullaroo. Locals will be able to gobble up 500 free double Bondi burgers to celebrate the big opening on Friday the 16th of July. So whether you're a long-time Porto fan or just keen to try something new, make sure you're in line at 12 midday, because once the 500 free burgers are gone, it's game over. To find out more, head to newcastlelive.com.au.
This is
Good stuff.
That's it for the good stuff today. We'd love to say a big thank you to Amy from Femme Newcastle. Be sure to give her a follow on the socials at Femme_Newcastle. And don't forget to tune in tonight from 5 p.m. for After Dark, or catch it on the podcast. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow from 4 p.m. for more of the good stuff.